If you just picked up the Garmin Striker 4, I got good news for you. This unit is actually a lot smarter than it looks. The only problem is not a lot of videos out there on it. So I'm gonna break down the 7 settings that you should know about this unit so it just doesn't become a depth and temperature reading for you. Number 1 is going to be knowing your power game, right? The Striker 4 sips power about 0.23 amps at 12 volts. So understanding your battery runtime is huge. Here's the mathematical runtime. I like using the Aqua Pro battery kits. This is gonna be the 4.4 amp hour, the 10 amp hour, and this guy, Beefy Girl, is going to be the 20 amp hour. Now to give you an idea of, if you do the math, how long this will run this unit for, this 4.4 amp hour is going to run it for 19 hours, 10 amp hour, 43 and a half hours, the 20 amp hour, 87 hours. So if you're going out for like a multi-day, week-long trip, this might be the juice for you. But just know that real world runtime is going to be lower due to a variety of factors like higher brightness, right? It's going to do more power draw, cold weather cuts runtime, older batteries don't hold at full capacity. So if you have yet to get the power for your Garmin Striker 4, not a problem. I have these on my website and you get free shipping. I'll throw the links in the description. All right, number 2 is going to be mastering the button interface here. Now the Striker 4 only has a few buttons on it, not a big deal. Of course, you're going to have your back button right here. You're going to have your D-pad, your directional pad right here. It's going to be your cursor, your zoom, your scroll, sonar history. You have your menu button, which I call the hamburger button. This is kind of like opens up all the hidden options, right? Once you're on Sonar screens, if you hit this button here, you get all the ways that you can kind of modify to your liking and how you like to fish. Then of course you have your power button, but keep in mind the power button just doesn't turn on and off your unit. If you hit it, it actually will cycle through backlight. It only gives you a couple options, 180% and then essentially off. So if you want to go in there, I believe it gives you 10% increments. Let me see. Yep. And you can toggle it that way. Of course, your check mark's gonna be your confirm, and then this down here is gonna be your waypoint button where you can instantly mark a location. So before you head out, I would learn these, and so you don't have to learn it while you're drifting into a stump field. So number 3 is gonna be understanding your screen. And if you've ever looked at the Sonar and thought, what am I even looking at? You're not alone. So this unit is actually doing 3 things at any given time when you're on the traditional Sonar screen, right? It's sending down a Sonar pulse, and it's listening for the echo to come back, and then it's painting those echoes across the screen like a scrolling timeline. And so here's what the screen elements are telling you. Up here, of course, is going to be your depth. It's oscillating right now because the depth is oscillating. This is in sim mode. You could see your water temp on here. You could see your GPS speed on here. You could see your voltage on here, right there, 10.5 volts. You could see the time on here. You can see down here at the bottom left, that BL stands for bottom lock. You can see CHIRP at 200 kilohertz. That's your frequency that you're utilizing. There's a variety of different frequencies that you can use. And then of course on the right side, this is going to be your depth scale. And then all this stuff in here, these are all your Sonar returns. And so we'll get into that in just a little bit. And here's the big key. Your screen, everything you're seeing here is not live. It's history from a few seconds ago. However, if you want to see a live return on your Garmin Striker 4, right here on this screen, it's possible, and I'll show you how to do that at the end of this video. Number 4, fish ID and fish alarms. This is going to be your early game training tools, right? So when you're brand new and everything looks like blobs and arches and noise, fish ID is going to help you learn faster. And what it's going to do is it's going to take those raw Sonar echoes and it's going to turn them into simple fish icons so you can quickly understand where fish typically show up, how they relate to the bottom, what bait looks like, strong versus weak returns. Think of fish ID as training wheels. They're helpful early on, but they're optional later. So let me show you how to turn those on. They're kind of buried. Go to the menu button, go to Sonar setup, head down to appearance, head down to fish symbols, and you're going to get a variety of options. This one is going to be if you just want to see fish. So we selected that, we head out, and if you just want to see fish symbols, that is what's going to show you. So it's going to show you small fish, medium fish, and large fish. You can kind of see they're popping up on the screen. If you head back, so in our setup, appearance, head down to fish symbols, it's going to give you the option to have fish symbols, but also have the depth as well. So you can see now all these have depth associated with them. Now if you head back, it gives you some more options here. Head down to appearance, fish symbols. Here it's going to give you the fish symbols plus the raw sonar returns behind it. And I'm not going to click on that one because I'm going to show you the most comprehensive. This one's going to give you fish symbols, depth, and the sonar behind it. So let's go ahead and select that, and let's head back out. And now you'll see you get the sonar arches, you get the fish symbols, and you get the depth. So this could be really helpful when you're like, hey, I'm not quite sure what's a fish, what's not. Now also what you could do, once fish ID is on, you can actually set up fish alarms. So these are going to beep when something enters your sonar code. And so let me show you how to do that. Now, unfortunately, you can't do it from this screen. So you have to back out, go down to settings, go down to alarms, go down to sonar alarms, and head over here to fish alarms. And you're gonna have 4 different options, right? Have them off, that's what it was. So you can do all fish, small, medium, large. Then you can do medium, large, and then you can just do large. So let's go ahead and turn these on, and let's head back out to the traditional sonar screen and see if it starts beeping at us when one enters into a sonar cone. There you go. Beep, beep, beep. Say if you're fishing and you're up on front and you just kind of want to know that you're running over them, this might be a good option for you. So I'm going to go turn that off because I don't want this thing blowing up during the entire video. So something to know about Fish ID, right? They're not perfect, right? They could miss stuff, but they are a great learning tool. And once you're confident reading raw sonar, most anglers will turn them off. But until then, they can help your eyes learn what to look for. So keep that in mind. All right, number 5, the split frequency view. So how do you get that? Let's head back. It's going to be on your main page, go down 2, and this is going to be your split frequency view, right? This is your sonar cheat code. Most anglers never turn this on, and they're leaving fish behind because of it. So split frequency view lets you see 2 sonar frequencies at the exact same time. So this is going to give you a fuller picture of what's happening underneath your vessel. And this is huge because different frequencies see water differently, right? This is also good information to know because you can toggle your traditional sonar screen to different frequencies as well. So at the bottom, you see down here, CHIRP 200 kilohertz and CHIRP 77 kilohertz. And if you go into the menus, you can actually go down to frequency. You can change that if you want just regular single frequency, or if you want the CHIRP. I would leave this on CHIRP, and I'll explain to you in a minute why. So what we're looking down here is CHIRP 200 kilohertz and CHIRP 77 kilohertz. And so let me explain to you what those are actually showing you. CHIRP 77 kilohertz, this is a wide cone angle, right? It's a 45-degree cone. Really great for covering more water quickly. It's going to pick up fish that are outside the narrow center cone that you get with the 200 kilohertz, and it's really ideal for deeper water, searching, or the suspended fish. Now over here on 200 kilohertz, this is going to be a 15-degree angle cone, right? Which is going to give you higher detail, and it's going to give you better target separation. So what target separation is going to help you determine, what's a fish versus brush versus rock, right? Or whatever else is down there. It's the more accurate reading directly beneath your vessel, and it's ideal for shallow water structure and vertical presentations. But when you put them side by side, you instantly understand how fish are positioned, whether they're directly under you, off to the sides, or relating to structure differently than the wide cone suggests. And when you combine that by utilizing CHIRP, so the difference between CHIRP and non-CHIRP is CHIRP actually sweeps through a range of frequencies. If it's non-CHIRP, it's just a single frequency. So when you have CHIRP, it's going to produce clearer returns, it's going to tighten up those arches, it's going to help you distinguish multiple fish instead of a blob, and it's going to reduce that noise and clutter. So why does split frequency matters? It's basically a fish finding multiplier, right? You're not guessing anymore. You're confirming. You see a broad picture and the fine detail at the same time. It's one of the fastest ways to improve your sonar reading and skills and catch fish more consistently. So if you want to level up quickly on the Striker 4, this setting is one of the biggest unlocks you can turn on. Next, let's hop out of this. Let's head back to traditional, and let's talk about one of the settings that you can do. Head over here to the menu button. Let's head up to gain, right? So instead of thinking gain as sensitivity, imagine as a filter that decides what makes it onto your screen. Right? Your sonar is constantly receiving thousands of echoes. Big fish, little fish, bait, mud, bubbles, debris, noise, everything. And so gain is going to control how much of that raw information gets filtered out. And so essentially what you're looking at, let's say you utilizing auto gain, auto medium, auto low, auto high. And so auto gain acts like a smart automatic filter. It removes most clutter for you. It boosts signals that look like fish, and it's going to decide for you what it feels is important, and it's going to hide the rest, right? It's great for beginners or predictable water conditions because your Striker 4 is basically doing all the filtering. And then if you do the manual gain up here, so just keep in mind, manual gain lets you choose how strict or how loose the filter is, right? Higher gain is a loose filter, You get tons of information, right? A lot of it gets through. You see everything, bait clouds, small fish, debris, even junk. And it's perfect when you're trying to see those subtle details or fish tight to structure. A lower gain, right? This is going to be a tight filter. Right, only strong, clean signals are going to get through. So your screen's going to look cleaner with less clutter, and it's really good for weedy areas, muddy water, or when you just want the essentials. So a little pro tip, I would start with auto. Right? Then switch to manual. You can slowly open or tighten the filter. So you can adjust it until you find that sweet spot where fish arches are clear, the bottom line is crisp, and clutter is minimized, but not completely wiped out. And once you see gain as a filter, it becomes way easier to understand and way easier to dial in for every type of water that you fish. So now once you're comfortable running your Garmin Striker 4, it's time to use one of the most underrated features, which is going to be waypoints. In order to do that, head over here to Waypoint Map, hit enter, and now you're on the waypoint map. So waypoints are basically your digital breadcrumb trail, right? Your personal memory bank for every important spot on the water. You can mark brush piles and channel swings and humps and grass edges and submerged logs and rock transitions, or the exact stretch where you caught a ton of donkeys, right? So if you're serious about patterning fish, waypoints become priceless. So that you build a history on every lake or river that you fish. But wait, where are the maps? Right? So if you search the menus and thought, where are the lake maps at? Don't worry, you're not missing anything. There are none. And also, the Garmin Striker 4 is a closed system, which means no map downloads, no contour chips. It's not connected to Wi-Fi, so you can't get updates. There's no chart cards because there's no SD card slot. There's no shaded relief, no nothing. So what you get is what you get. So your Striker 4 does have GPS and waypoint tracking, but it displays everything on a plain white screen. So think of it as like sketching dots on a blank piece of paper, right? No shorelines, no depth contours, no markers, just you and the path that you have taken. But you can still mark a brush pile. You can still save your launch location, and you can return to productive spots. All that still works, just without the context of a real map. So if you're looking for mapping, then you'll need to upgrade your unit to one that does have mapping, or upgrade your Garmin Striker 4 to a model that has contours mapping, which is a feature that really allows you to create your own lake maps, right, on the ponds that you have. However, this feature only starts to show up on the Garmin Striker 4 Plus and the Garmin Striker 4 Vivid CV units. Unfortunately, it's not on this base unit. And when I say maps, I mean you have to create them yourselves. It doesn't come with preloaded maps. Now, if you apply what I just shared with you, you're going to be ahead of 90% of all the other anglers out there. So if you stuck around to the end because you're interested in that A scope, that amplitude scope, that real-time flasher on that 2D sonar, I got the video for you. You can check that out right there. And if you're still a little bit confused on how to read that sonar screen, I take a deeper dive and you can check out that video right there. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.